Okay. Friends, I think the short documentary we also encapsulates everything. His personality, his academic contribution, his ideas, his whole worldview. There's nothing much to say except that, please forgive me if you may disagree with me, this is not a farewell. We are felicitating him, not a farewell. We are felicitating him for his wonderful achievement and for his contribution. So I'll be taking less time so others can speak. 2-3 different levels. At the personal level, we joined the university same year with the batchmates. She was our teacher. And so I know him for 42 years, through thick and thin. All these years, I don't know whether it's a coincidence or because he was lucky enough to be born in Kerala, probably as far as West Asia is concerned, because Kerala is not only a geographical reality, West Asia, it's a social reality. I came from Odisha, I don't know anything about West Asia. It's for me, it's a geographical reality. So that also is the beginning. Throughout our friendship, he left, he was lucky enough to go to Kottayam and come back. I continued here. And most of times, all these issues, whether in personal, whether on ideological level, and most important, the Palestinian struggle, we've been always together. The anti-colonial, anti-imperialist approach to West Asian studies, and a third world perspective for West Asian studies. Only, if I remember correctly, only once we differed, and later on I regretted that. That is between him and me. All these years, we've been always on the same page, anywhere in discussion. Any student matter, obviously, we cannot beat Professor Dayton as far as the pro-student approach is concerned. Nobody can beat her. But most of us, we always try to be there. That is a personal level, and the other day, both of us were in Tihar jail. I'll tell you a very interesting anecdote, so you'll forgive me. He was as an activist. I was new, he was also new. He got out someone, the vice chancellor, rector. You remember that, ma'am? He was the other side, 83 Gharao. And Professor Agwani was sitting there. Professor, I'm forgetting his name, P.N. Srivastava was there. Professor Agwani was the rector. And this gentleman was sitting on the other side, shouting slogans at him. Right there. And he was appointed in his post. So he was an activist all through. He was appointed and Professor Agwani's post, if I remember correctly, yes, right? Yes. So that is the coincidence of history. But, that's a personal level. And many more things. And in all the movements, we'll be together. He was more activist. Though he was more active in other movements than me, because I was confined to my books and other things. At the intellectual level, his first contribution to the center is the one, I think the center will be a loser by this. He produced a generation of feminist scholarship. Still, I have not understood what it is. Honestly, I have to read a lot. He's the one who made sensitive to the entire generation of scholars, and he produced many, many scholars having a feminist perspective. That's a great contribution, in my opinion, to the center. We must admit that. And also, he is an expert on IR theory. Unlike me, I don't know anything about theory. She was an expert on theory and gender studies. Those are the greatest contributions, And students, whenever there is any issue, we always discuss any student's issue. Before going to the sentiment, we will discuss. Ram, how do I go about it? Mansi, what do you do? I'm telling the truth now. Because we always used to take a stand that students should be given a maximum chance Though some students have they misuse that, that's a fact of life also. But nevertheless, as teachers, we always stood by students. I mean, it's up to you to judge, but we have to discuss. So, not compromising the academic standards, by the way, not compromising the academic standards. And when the PhD synopsis were discussed, he was as rigorous as anyone, to the point. You know? And intellectually, I have the great privilege of including one of his articles in my edited volume. So I've got it not to promote my book, but to ask you to read what he has written. And that is the first article. And I'm still waiting for his article for my second book. He's not giving. I'm still waiting for his, the Arab woman in the Arab world. Hopefully he will give me, or else let's see. Let's see. You know, this article is Culture and Ideas, Reflections Arab Cultural Studies. All of you must read it. The first article in my book. All of you must read. And its whole perspective at all. You know, the intersectionality between culture, nationalism, identity, you know, imperialism and religion, civilization, so on and so on. And authors is, it seems how well read he is. You know, Salah Bakar, Elias Khoury, Ilan Pape, Joseph Massad, you know, Muhammad Darwish, Edward Said, Huntington. Beautiful portrayal of Huntington here. He was telling the Huntington, not only, he is known for class of civilization. What he is arguing here is another, the imperialist perspective, the invasions, the interventions in US, intervention in Afghanistan, Iraq. That's what he's saying. That also Huntington's ideas, the imperialist perspective. So this is what I bought. All of you must read this article, and then you will be richer by this. So, and also another lecture I must cite here. His whole worldview is approach to academics. If I remember correctly, Ram, you had given a seminar telling the state-centric narrative. Sima was there, the state-centric narrative, you know, it's in the center. That's a totally different approach. How the international relations is dominated by state sovereignty. How you have to come out of that. A people's perspective, a grassroots perspective. That was a brilliant seminar in my life I've attended, and I could attend that, you know. So those are the few things I remember, and I think he has been in Kottayam, in Jamia, and JNU. And recently, latest is probably Tabatabai University. Then he was in Lithuania, I remember? Lithuania? Oh yeah, I remember, I know. And Spain, Ram, if I'm not wrong. Yes, to cite a few examples. Okay? So that was he, Ram. And, you know, very soft-spoken, unlike me. Sometimes I, you know, become very sensitive. He would always say, Bansi, don't be so sensitive about everything. I said, Ram, it is too old to change. I'm too old to change myself. Those are the lighter moments, and I cherish our long association with him, right from student days and the faculty. And Laku David, we are retiring just in a month's gap. I mean, probably would never imagine that we would be retiring within a month's gap. And I wish him all the best. And this is the beginning of another career, I'm sure. We all will be in touch. He will be in touch with us, hopefully. And we want to see him coming out with more and more scholarly articles. With this, I stop.